Have you ever felt trapped in a situation you couldn't escape? Like no matter how hard you tried, the world around you just wouldn't change? Maybe you've seen unfairness, or felt like your voice didn't matter, like the odds were just too big. But what if I told you that this feeling of being stuck, scared, or powerless isn't new? Long ago, in a mighty land called Egypt, there were people who knew exactly what that was like. They were the Israelites, a nation of people who had been made slaves. They cried out for freedom, and just when it seemed like all hope was lost, God sent them a leader. His name was Moses. This is the story of how one man, guided by faith, stood up to a powerful king, how miracles unfolded, and how freedom came at the hand of a mighty God. It's a tale of courage, obedience, and the power of standing firm even when the world says no. In the quiet deserts of Midian, far from the noise and power of Egypt, a man named Moses was living a life he never expected, tending sheep. Not leading armies, not debating rulers, just sheep. Egypt, with all its palaces and problems, felt like a lifetime ago. But destiny? It doesn't forget. One ordinary day, while guiding his flock near Mount Horeb, Moses spotted something odd, a bush burning. But it wasn't burning up. Curious, he stepped closer, and then a voice, powerful, personal.
Moses. Moses.
Startled, Moses answered the only way he knew how.
Here I am.
I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Take off your sandals. This place is holy ground.
This was no random fire. This was a calling, one that would shift the course of nations.
I've seen my people suffer in Egypt. I've heard their cries. Now, I'm sending you to bring them out.
Moses froze. Egypt? Pharaoh? Him?
Who am I to do that?
I'll be with you.
Still, Moses had doubt. So God gave him signs, a staff that turned into a snake, a hand that became leprous, and then healed, and a promise.
Aaron, your brother, will speak for you. I will teach you both what to say.
So, with a reluctant heart and a mission from God, Moses headed back to Egypt not as a prince, but as a prophet. And then came the showdown. Standing before Pharaoh, Moses delivered the message that echoed through eternity.
This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Let my people go.
Pharaoh scoffed.
Who is this Lord? I don't know him, and I won't let Israel go.
That defiance lit the fuse. Then came the plagues. Not random disasters, but divine messages. First, the Nile turned to blood. Fish floated, and the stench rose. But Pharaoh's heart stayed hard. Frogs jumped into homes. Gnats filled the air. Flies swarmed the land. Still, Pharaoh said no. Disease struck the animals. Boils covered skin. Hail rained down like fire. Locusts devoured what was left. Darkness smothered the land for 3 days. Each plague struck at the gods of Egypt and showed who really had the power. But the final plague was different. It was sacred and devastating. God told his people, "Take a lamb, pure and spotless. Mark your doors with its blood." That night, death would pass through Egypt, but would pass over every home marked in faith. And it did. The cries of Egypt were like nothing the world had ever heard. Finally, Pharaoh broke.
Go, take your people, just go, and bless me too.
So the Israelites, after generations of slavery, walked free, guided by God, carried by hope. But the story wasn't over. Pharaoh had one last burst of pride. As the Israelites reached the Red Sea, his army thundered behind them, trapped, hopeless. But God wasn't finished. Moses raised his staff, and the sea split. Walls of water on either side, dry ground beneath. God's people walked through. And when Pharaoh's army followed, the waters crashed back. Victory. Not by sword, not by strategy, but by faith and a faithful God. From a burning bush to a broken empire, Moses learned this. When God calls, it's not about who you are, it's about who He is. Because when God says, "Let my people go," nothing and no one can stand in His way.